lab turnarounds a little bit faster. They added like a whole other laboratory. They're trying to do something called pool testing, which I won't get into now, but the LabCorp has done pretty well. And we have some other labs that locally, Doylestown Hospital and some of the other hospitals are doing a really good job with local turnaround. What I'm trying to get done, if I can, is try to have an agreement with a couple of local laboratories. One of them is one in the lower end in Lower Bucks near Oxford Valley Mall. And I'm trying to find one in Upper Bucks that would allow, I could potentially, if this works out, potentially to write a script for Bucks County teachers and Bucks County students. And they wouldn't have to go to their doctor and get a prescription. They could go right to the testing site, get tested. And this, now, it's not 100% as sensitive as the PCR test, but it's pretty good. And once that test starts to roll out in larger numbers, they've sent them out to some nursing homes recently, the federal government has. I think you'll start to see, when your primary care doctor has the ability to, do a rapid flu, strep, and coronavirus test at the same time, that would be terrific. And we're not that far away from that test being utilized. They just have to make a lot of them. So I do believe the testing was slow. It's starting to speed up again. And people that are symptomatic can definitely get a test. And we're hoping to have some kind of procedure down by the time school starts that teachers and students will be able to go somewhere for a quick test.
There are some people in our community who feel as though perhaps you alone are making these recommendations, and that there are other organizations in the medical field that are making recommendations that contradict either you or the state. Are there other groups and individuals that you consult with to help you make your recommendations? And how would you respond to somebody who says, but this organization says something different?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And a lot of this kind of goes back to the 3 foot versus 6 foot situation that I've been dealing with for a long time. Our recommendations here in Bucks County, I want to clarify this, hopefully for one last time, is that we suggest 6 feet as being the optimal distance to separate the children. However, based on a lot of good data and organizations around the world, that a minimum of 3 feet. I was the only person to put a minimum of 3 feet into my guidance. There's no other organization, at least initially, that put the 3 feet in there. The Association of Academy of Pediatrics has now put in a 3 foot minimum. The state of Massachusetts, the state of Virginia has put in the 3 foot minimum. And again, it's not saying aim for 3 feet. And we've never said that here in Bucks County either. We've said the 3 foot is the bare minimum because there is data to back that up. The WHO has been saying that for years. Up until recently, on the CDC website, they still talk about droplets 3 feet. The Lancet had a huge study, and this came out in early June, right when I was doing my guidance, that showed that 1 meter or 3 feet has a huge reduction in the spread of droplets, because this is a droplet spread disease. So, the idea that my guidance is completely contradictory is actually really not true when it comes, especially to that one particular issue, which is what I've gotten a lot of comments on. The 6 foot is the optimal goal, but 3 feet has a lot of scientific backup behind it. I'm not the only one saying it. AAP is it's the preeminent pediatric organization in the United States, if not the world. And they said the same thing, right? 3 feet is the bare minimum that you should have distance between children with a mask on. And I think I went through a lot of things. I didn't make those guidance up off the top of my head. I looked through all the research and the data that was there. I looked through the countries. There's a lot of countries in Europe and around the world. There's very few countries in the whole world that actually use 6 feet. As a matter of fact, there's only a couple of countries that do. Most countries in the world utilize the 1 meter / 3 feet guidance. And most of those countries have this under better control than we do. So to say that 6 feet is the be all end all, I would have to disagree that it has to be 6 feet to get it under control. Because again, a lot of countries have gotten under control. Now they've worn masks, they've done lots of different things. So, and I'm not pushing 3 feet. I'm just saying that that's the bare floor minimum where there's evidence that it works. So if we can get to 6 feet, obviously that's what we're recommending. But I want to just I'm going into that because